why it is important to our businesses or organizations? Well, we will know the answers to those questions right here, right now. Once again, quality morning to everyone, and welcome to the fourth edition of Qffee Talk Power Talk this 2021 entitled Introduction on Supply Chain Management. This is a free webinar and a live consultation via Zoom brought to you by Quality Plus Management Consulting Company. We are a team of experts who provide tailored consulting and training services in the field of quality and process improvement. My name is Vian and I am your webinar host for today. And also here with me is our technical host. We have Miss Abby Gabriel and Mr. Jay Cortez. So if you will be needing any of our assistance during our webinar, you can just message us directly through our chat box. So let us now start our webinar and let us start this with a word of praise.
Dear God, we glorify you for all the blessings you have bestowed upon us. We are truly grateful for them. Thank you for allowing us today to meet and share our knowledge and time with one another virtually. May you send forth your divine wisdom to our speakers as they impart effectively their God-given gift to all of us. May they be blessed as they continue to share their expertise to the people who needs them. Bless the participants as well, so that they would be able to obtain vital information from this activity. May you send forth your Holy Spirit so that after this webinar, we may share what we learned in the spirit of your love and generosity, especially during these trying times. May we be able to bring glory to you, Lord, in everything that we do. Amen.
So to start our webinar, allow me to share with you some friendly reminders. Reminder to everyone to please click and watch by speaker view so that we can better see our speaker and also the presentation that you have prepared for us. Also, please mute your microphone. Let us be mindful of the background noise. And also, please enable your video to have a more immersive online experience. For questions and clarifications, it can be entertained during and after the session through our chat box. So during our Q&A, you may turn on your microphone or you may use the chat box. Our facilitator or our speaker will tell you if you are already. For proper identification, please ensure that your Zoom ID is in this format, your company name, and then the participant name. And also, reminder to everyone to please answer forms. So later on, we will be sending you the feedback form for this webinar. And of course, last webinar is ongoing. So now let us start our webinar. Without any further ado, let me introduce to you our speaker. She's one of the partners of Quality Plus Management Consulting Company, an operational excellence coach, a management consultant, and a trainer. Let us all welcome Miss Jamie G. Katibay.
Thank you. Yan. Thank you, Vian. Good job. And quality morning to all our participants today. Welcome po sa ating free webinar on introduction on supply chain management. Ayan. I hope na ready na po kayo para sa ating 2-hour discussion ngayong araw na ito. And whatever your motive is for joining our webinar, okay, it is my declaration that all of us, including me po, will get important information that we can utilize in handling or managing supply chain in our own organization. So nakita ko we are composed of people from private and public sectors, public tawag dito, government, ayan, government agencies din, meron po tayo, tama po ba, if I'm not mistaken, ayan. So, we have 30 participants and counting, marami pa po ang nag-join and we are waiting for more. Alright, so, quality morning po ulit, and I am Jamie Katibayan. I'm gonna walk you through the introduction on supply chain management. Ayan, so, bakit nga ba kailangan natin i-discuss yung supply chain management, And looking at our country, the Philippines, na sabi nga nila is a third world country. Where are we when it comes to managing our supply chain? The information that we know, the skills needed to be able to manage supply chain. Nasaan na nga ba ang Philippines? With the culture and industry setting that we have here in the Philippines, nasaan na nga ba tayo? And ano ba yung mga ginagawa na ng mga taga-ibang bansa when it comes to supply chain management? And what are some of the frameworks, tools, techniques, tips that we can use right away after this seminar? Na pwede na nating i-apply, gawin, okay? Para ma-manage yung supply chain natin. Alright, so I hope that everyone is ready for that. Now, please do not forget that if you have questions or concerns, yung ating pong chat box is always open. You can type in your concern or questions sa ating chat box. So, habang discussion, maybe I can open it or answer it right away. Or, pwede po tayong mag-wait until all discussion is finished and then we will have a question and answer portion. There you can type in your question or you can open your mic so that ma-air out nyo po yung inyong mga concerns. Okay, so if that is clear for all of us, let us start our discussion. Okay, so I'm gonna be sharing. Yan, quality morning din daw po from Bureau of Communication Services. Hello po, quality morning Sir Luisita. Okay? Alright. So, ayan. Please be reminded, be informed, ayan, from Sir Arvel, hello po. Please be informed, that our discussion for today is in preparation of our premium webinar offerings this March. Okay, so ayan. Ano ba yung kailangan matututunan natin ngayong araw na ito? First, we will define the importance and the difference with logistics ng supply chain management. Ano nga ba yung supply chain management? Bakit ba importante ito? Okay. Second is we will describe some concepts and frameworks related to supply chain management. That is on the third section. And last, we will discuss some steps in the effective implementation of supply chain management. Again, this is just an introductory course, an introductory discussion. The details, the very details of the discussion para sa ating mga learning outcomes na ito will be offered through our premium webinar. But if you want to hear more regarding SCM, please stay tuned. So we just have 4 sections. Okay? So first section po, we will define the importance of managing supply chain. Second section, we will define supply chain management, its importance, its scope, and its difference with logistics. Section 3 is we will describe a supply chain management framework, and fourth is the implementation of supply chain management. Okay, so let us now start. Yeah, so we are joined by a lot of participants from different organizations from Luzon to Visayas to Mindanao. Ayan, we have friends from Davao. Hello po. Maayong buntag po sa inyong lahat. Ayan. Okay, bakit nga ba kailangan mag-manage ng supply chain? Okay, why there is a need to manage our supply chain? Let's see. Let us first have a case in point. Okay, so this story was featured in Rappler last 2014. No, Jollibee's chicken sad issue. Bakit nga ba nagkaroon ng ubusan ng chicken joy? So wala ng chicken joy, chicken sad na siya. Bakit nga ba naging chicken sad ang chicken joy ng Jollibee? It was reported that Jollibee was losing millions of pesos a day due to operational problem that forced some of its stores to close. Ayan, bakit kaya nag-close? Here are the possible supply chain related um sorry, supply chain related issues causes of the problem. So number one ay yung ERP system migration. Okay, so or system migration. When we say system migration, nagpalit tayo ng sistema. Previously, Jollibee was using Oracle. No, just like other companies, big, large organizations, no po, they use Oracle. Now, gumamit sila ng SAP, no, one of the most robust and highly used, no po, very effective and efficient na ERP ngayon, syempre yung SAP. Ayan. So, dahil may transition, may change, may paggalaw, okay, nagkakaroon tuloy ng disruption sa ating process. Now, if we weren't able to plan for change, so what we call change planning, yan, ito yung nangyari, nagkakaroon ng chicken sad or nagkakaroon ng losses. Okay? Another cause daw po ng problem is the staffing and expertise. Ano po? In-outsource po yung project. Yung migration project is an outsourced project, okay, from a large multinational IT company. So, nagkakaroon sila ng problem, yung ating supplier ng service, no, nagkaroon sila ng problem because they are understaffed. No? Alam natin, pag understaffed, syempre, nagkakaroon siya ng effect sa project implementation, knowledge sharing, skill sharing, and therefore, naapektuhan din, no? Para siyang domino effect. Naapektuhan na rin ang pag-supply ng chicken sa mga stores. Okay? Third is schedule and size. No? This is a ₱500 million project, but it has an operating schedule of just a little over a year. From the time the recruitment activity started till the supply chain issue broke out. So, nagkaroon din ng problem sa scheduling. Okay? And people who need to work in this project. No? Nagkaroon din ng problem with testing. Ano ba yung testing? Testing is to check if the system's features and processes are working. And ito yung na-overlook na aspect, no po, doon sa IT project na to. Okay, nawala ng simulation. No po, unfortunately, most projects do this towards the end. Kaya nga po, the later the defects are found, the more expensive they are to fix. So, ibig sabihin nun, Jollibee had an internal problem, no? Kung i-root cause analysis pa natin ito, it all rooted from poor planning ng kanilang changes. Tama po ba? Okay. Of course, hindi na natin sisisihin si Jollibee. Bakit yung Chicken Joy natin naging Chicken Sad na? Of course, it is a learning experience for Jollibee, but it cost them a lot. Tama po ba? Plus, eto na, may internal issues na po si Jollibee during those times na they are struggling to supply the chicken that they need, no po, para maibigay nila ang chicken joy ni customer, there was a strong typhoon Glenda that battered parts of Luzon and Visayas, causing 8.3 billion, close to $192 million in damage to agriculture and fisheries. Of these, 13.4 million pesos was the damage to livestock, no, kasama yung chicken. Hence, supply of chicken significantly resulted to tight chicken supply. So sabi po, ano po, we have worked with Jollibee actually before. Actually sa not the Jollibee, but their commissary, no. We taught them how to use statistics to manage the quality of their products, no po. And they were saying that they are actually importing chicken. Okay, they were actually importing chicken. Ayan, hindi ko alam kung saan, but their chicken would not come from the Philippines. Kasi daw po yung Pilipino na raised in the Philippines, medyo parang Pilipino, ano po, kulang sa size. Pero yung mga chicken sa ibang bansa, medyo malalaki daw. At yun daw yung standard nila, malaki yung chicken nila. Okay, yung chicken joy pala natin, malaki siya sa usual na chicken na nabibili sa palengke. Okay, so dahil may internal problem at yung may unprecedented problem na dala ni Typhoon Glenda. So, ibig sabihin no nagkaroon din ng agawan sa supply ng chicken outside the organization or outside Jollibee. So, actually, according to report, no, DA Undersecretary for Livestock, Jose Riaño, confirmed that Typhoon Glenda affected the supply of chicken from southern Luzon. But Region 3 or Central Luzon, the country's top chicken producing region, was spared. Sabi pa niya, the Greater Metro Manila consumes 20 million kilograms of chicken every month, a demand that is met by both local and imported supply. Kaya pala, dahil nagkulang yung mga local supply natin, so saan kukuha? Imported supply. So ngayon, Jollibee, meron na siyang kakompetensya. Ano po, may problema na nga siya sa transition, nagkulang sa mga information dissemination, sizing, scheduling, and everything. Ngayon pa, nagkakulangan din sa supply. Okay? And eto pa, may isa pa. Sometimes there is just late arrival of imports because the shipments cannot easily be unloaded from ports because of congestion and the truck ban. Ayan. So may internal problem, may fortuitous event, tapos meron pang mga inefficiencies at sa pagpapatupad ng law and policies. No po? And all this combined, ayan, losses sa company. Tama po ba? Now, our question is, how could Jollibee have addressed this problem? Paano kaya dapat ma-address ni Jollibee yung kanyang, how could have Jollibee address yung problem niya? Okay, so syempre may mga sasagot dyan. At ang sagot natin ay, alam na natin, ano? So dapat sana nag-supply chain management si Jollibee because alam natin one of its top rated highest tawag dito, mostly consumed product, syempre Chicken Joy, no? Top rated product yan ni Jollibee. At dapat ine-ensure niya, so ibig sabihin, a majority or stream ng kanyang sales galing po kay Chicken Joy. So dapat ine-ensure niya yung supply ni Chicken Joy. Tama po ba? Para hindi tayo maging chicken sad. Ayan. So, sa supply chain management, that is what we do. We try to monitor, we manage. We try to monitor, control, evaluate, we correct, okay? And we do actions, no po, to address potential problems when it comes to our supply and the chain of our supplies. Okay, so for us to have more knowledge about supply chain management, okay, mag-continue lang po tayo. So we have another case, no? Case in point number 2 naman, syempre, tingnan naman natin yung kalaban niya. Si McDonald's. Ayan, nung a year after naman po, noong 2015, following a port slowdown and a supplier closure, ayan, nagkaroon siya ng supplier closure that raised food safety concerns worldwide and created supply shortages that directly impacted sales. The fast food giant was recently forced to appoint a new CEO. Ayan. So parang naisisi ngayon ni McDonald's ang failure na ito doon sa CEO na naka-position during that time. Ano. But of course, there were many factors at play behind the decision to transition the leadership. But, sabi nga dito, no, poor supply management certainly played a role. No po, ang sinasabi lang dito, no, kahit daw may mga ganong pangyayari, alam natin na we are living in a VUCA world, no? Volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous, no po. We are living that very risky ang ating mundo, ang ating ginagalawang industriya, no po. Kahit daw may ganon, alam natin things might go wrong. Dapat pa rin minamanage natin yung mga risks na yun. Okay? And dapat isa sa mga factors ng ating business, supplying, no po, offering, delivering our products and services to our customers. Yun yung huwag po natin pababayaan. Okay? So sabi dito, these are some of the lessons learned. No? What could McDonald's have done differently to mitigate the closure of an integral meat supplier and avoid product shortages? Sabi dito, McDonald's should have what? It should have had multiple backup sources of supply. So, hindi lang sa isang supplier siya nagde-depend. So, sabi dito, dapat marami siyang suppliers. Okay? Sabi dito, when a product is core to your menu, it's also important to split up the supply volume between multiple suppliers, which lessens the burden on each source and the impact on your business of a and the impact on your business of a potential slowdown. Ayan, mas mamamanage mo kung hindi ganun kalaki yung kinukuha mong quantity from just one supplier na kung i-divide mo ito sa many suppliers. Okay? So with that case in point, ano po, nakikita natin talaga that it is very important to manage, be strategic, to carefully think about, plan out how we manage our supply chain because at the end of the day, we want to satisfy the customers. No po, sabi nga po ng mga Japanese, the customer is our God. They are what? The author and finisher of our businesses. Di ba po? For without our customers, our business will not be existing. Therefore, it is really high time for us to really manage our supply chain. At na-highlight yan ngayon kasi nagpandemya. Tama po ba? During pandemic, nahirapan, lockdown, quarantine, ayan, mas nahirapan tayo to deliver our services and products to our customer, which is a good factor lang siya actually sa pagmamanage ng ating supply chain. Something that we must talk about, deal with sa supply chain management. Tama po. Okay, so, ngayon, ito naman po, pinifeature natin sa slide na to yung mga top supply chain disasters at yung mga naging impact nila or result. So let us take, for example, ito po, during yung 1996, si Foxmeyer drug. So the problem was, new order management and distribution systems don't work. And fulfillment cost targets built into contracts are unattainable. Ayan, nakita natin may change management din. Okay, nagkaroon, ano yung impact? Lost sales din. Okay, kay GM naman, During the 1980s, CEO Robert Smith invests billions in robot technology. Ayan, that mostly doesn't work. Ayan, grabe. Ang hirap nito. And what is the impact? Ayan. So, naagaw daw ni Toyota yung market share, which during that time was still low cost or low tech. Low tech. Ano po, at gumagamit lang ng principle na lean manufacturing. Okay, let us look at web van during 2001. Online grocer has many problems, including massive investment in automated warehouses that drain capital and aren't justified by demand. Nag-invest din ito sa technology. Ayan. Si Adidas, ano nangyari? New warehouse system din. Ayan. Nag-automation siya. Medyo nagkaroon siya ng undershipping ng 80%. So this alam niyo po yung change na to, no, tama naman yan. Maganda naman po yan. Okay? But this change in technology, no, transition, migration to new technology should always be carefully thought out. No po, sa Denver Airport naman, yung baggage handling system nila, it became complex, hugely expensive, automated. Ayan. Ganun din. So, halos lahat. No? Let us look at the second slide. Okay? During 1999 naman sa Hershey's Foods, order management and warehouse implementation issues causes Hershey to miss critical Halloween shipments. So, alam na natin, pag Halloween, madaming sales ng candy and chocolates. Ano? So may mga issues sila sa kanilang pagmamanage ng order and warehouses. Si Cisco naman ay lacks inventory visibility. No po, pag sinabi nating inventory visibility, kaya you are able not to alert your system but to be able to predict your system. Therefore, may maganda ka dapat forecasting. Okay? At madidiscuss po natin yan sa Production Planning and Control, March 2022-23. Ayan. So, naging problem pala yun ni Cisco. Ano po, wala siyang masyadong visibility. No? Nahihirapan siya makapag-decide kasi wala siyang makita. No? Or wala siyang ma-predict na value for demand. Si Nike naman, trouble with new planning system. Okay, si Aris Isotoner, si Sarah Lee, nagkaroon siya ng decision na tanggalin sa Manila at ilagay sa ibang country yung kanyang production. So, what happened? The cost rise instead and quality plummets. Grabe. So, maling decision din. Si Apple din, ganon. So, makikita po natin dito that may kapag hindi natin na-manage yung mga technological changes, kapag may mga management issues tayo when it comes to inventory, order handling, warehousing, demand forecasting, ayan, even production problem, talagang affected yung organization. At usually, losses after losses. Putik kung financial losses lang. Paano kung yung reputation natin, yung matarnish? Paano kung may lost lives pa? Diba po? So talagang napaka-tindi na ang pangangailangan natin to really manage our supply chain. Okay, and that is carefully planning for changes, especially relating to our productions. Okay, managing our demand, managing our supply and suppliers, managing our order handling, managing our warehouses, managing our inventory, managing our production. Okay, so all these concepts, yan ay under the umbrella we call supply chain. They are interrelated aspects, even maaring programs na po sa inyong organization na dapat interconnected sila. At kapag in-interconnect mo sila, ang tawag natin sa kanila ngayon ay supply chain. Okay? At alam naman natin, failure in the connection is failure of the system. Tama po ba? At naintindihan natin yan ngayong pandemya na kapag nag-online class ka o nag-meeting kayo, wala kang connection. Ayan, let's define that. No? Wala kang connection sa iyong internet service provider. Ang pangit ng experience. Wala kang maintindihan, wala kang hindi ka makapag-participate, you cannot be interactive no po doon sa meeting or doon sa class. So nakita natin na ganun katindi yung or ganun kahalaga yung connection. And all these things, all aspects in your organization, especially relating to your customers and your suppliers, okay, and their effects on your production should be connected. Ayan. That is why meron tayong supply chain management. Okay, so if you still have questions, ano po, keep them coming through our chat box. Okay, now we are ready to discuss our section 2. Okay, sa section 2 naman, what is supply chain management? So ano nga ba yung supply chain management na yan? Let us define. Supply chain management is the system of organization or organizations, systems, therefore systems then po, people, activities, information, and resources. Resources might be material, your equipment, your facilities, po, money, and of course your labor. No po? So, makikita natin, no, talagang, ang daming mga elements, okay, na part ng ating supply chain. Okay? Ito'y sistema involved in moving a product or service from supplier to customer. Okay? Or transforming materials into actual products and services from suppliers to customers. Okay? This consists of activities that transform raw materials and components into a finished product that is delivered to the end customer. Parang ang daling concept lang siya, no? No, interconnection of all these processes that transform an input to an actual output. Okay? Transition of something into some of the things into another thing. Tama po? So parang ganun lang talaga siya in its simplest form. No po? And this is a diagram of what is a supply chain. Now, if you go to universities, no, very classic tong diagram na ito. Parang nakita ko pa to sa university nung nag-aaral ako. So this is a diagram of for us to have a better understanding of what supply chain is. Now here, you will see, okay, dito sa part po na to, ay, nasaan ako? Ayan. Okay. Here, you will see po, dito sa part na to, ayan, ito po yung supplier part, no? In supply chain management, we call it the upstream. Okay, yung supplier part. No, later on, you will understand na as time goes by yung supplier, hindi na natin tinatawag na supplier. In ISO nga po, ang tawag natin dyan ay service providers. Yan, mga service providers natin. But ngayon, may tinatawag tayong Industrial Revolution 4.0, no? The fourth Industrial Revolution. Ang tawag na natin sa mga suppliers natin, partners. Ayan, ba? Mas gumaganda na yung tawag sa kanila. Parang karelasyon, parang jowa. Wow! It's me and my jowa na. Ayan. Okay, so, ganun nakatindi ang mga labelan. May label, buti pang supplier, may label. Okay, anyway, ayan. So, ayun, yung supplier upstream. Po. Now, ito po tayo, dito po tayo, manufacturer tayo. And then after nyan ay yung downstream na. So ito yung distribution and its channels, no? Hanggang sa makarating siya sa ating, hanggang dito pala siya. Hanggang sa makarating siya sa ating mga customers. Okay po. So ganun lang siya. Kung makikita niyo po yung arrows niya would come from the supplier, okay? and then to the manufacturer, and then to the distribution channels, and to our customer. So this is how the material flows. Okay? This is how the product flows. This is how the service flows. No, later on, after that, hanggang sa na-refine pa yung ibig sabihin ng supply chain, hindi lang materials, hindi lang services ang nagfo-flow from the supplier, from upstream to downstream. No po, may tinatawag din tayong information flow. Ayan. Of course, for us to be able to increase visibility, we need real-time, right, precise, accurate information from whom? The actual customers who have the actual experience of our products and services. So dapat sa supply chain, minamanage natin hindi lang yung materials, but of course, information that we gather from customers to our distributors to us manufacturers, especially sa R&D natin. Kasi sila yung mag-incorporate ng voice of the customer into the design of our products and services. And then kapag nagkaroon na tayo ng design, the information will be transferred to our suppliers or external providers or partners. Tama po? Ayan. So, ganon. Okay? Pero the information actually should not just come from the customers. Okay? Meron din dapat from the distributor to customer, manufacturer to the distributor, and supplier to the manufacturer. So this is the arrow na para naman sa pag transportation ng communication. This is how should communicate transportation of information or communication flow. No, mayroon tayong feedback system. Ganun daw po ang tamang communication, may feedback system. So this is how we manage information sa supply chain. No, may tinatawag tayong feedback system, notification system, alerting system, ganyan. Ganito yung flow ng information. Now, yung flow naman ng money, of course, from customer yan to our distributors, to our manufacturers, to our supplier. So, ganyan naman yung flow. Okay? So, may 3 chains. Actually, sa supply chain management, may 3 supplies tayong minamanage. 3 chains of supply. Okay? The chain of the supply of materials, the chain of the supply of information, and the chain of the supply of money or funds. Okay? So, I hope clear sa atin yun. Okay. So, sabi nga dito, the management, supply chain management is the management of flow of products and services, which begins from the origin of products and ends at the product's consumption. Ano po? Ayan. So, it also comprises movement and storage of raw materials and are involved in work in progress, inventory, and fully furnished goods. That is why I highly recommend that if you want to know more about supply chain management and its components, especially relating to storage of, if you are having with storage of having problems with storage of raw materials, storage ng WIPs or work in progress, inventory, finished goods, ayan. Meron po tayong strategic warehousing and inventory management sa naman yan? 25 and 26, March 25 and 26. Again, SWIM or Strategic Warehousing Inventory Management is also part of the big umbrella supply chain management. Now, bakit ba natin ginagawa yung supply chain management or SCM? What is the main objective of this? Is to monitor. Okay? Meron po ba kayong mga jowa dyan na mahilig mag-monitor? Ayan. Okay? Yung tinatawag natin mga controlling. Ayan. Tama? Di ba may mga ganun tayo? No? Huwag pong ganun sa jowa. Okay? Sa organization lang natin. Because we have to control. We have to manage. We have to monitor our organization so that we keep it at its best running condition, no, it performs at its best. No, kaya lagi natin siyang monitor. Monitor and relate production, distribution, and shipment of products and services. So may careful monitoring and controlling sa mga aspeto na to. Production, distribution, shipment. No? This can be done by companies with a very good and tight hold over internal inventories, production, distribution, internal productions, and sales. Okay? So, ito yung main objective ng SCM or Supply Chain Management. Okay? So, in other words, no, you just have to manage your demand and also manage your supply. Okay po? So, saan ba nanggaling tong SCM na to? Let us discuss. Actually, siya po ay naging byword during the 90s. No? Kaway-kaway po, mag-thumbs up ang mga batang 90s dyan, mga ka-generation natin. Ang mga totoong millennial, labas. Mga totoong millennial po dyan. Okay. May iba may linya na lang. Hindi millennial, millennia. Pero okay pa rin po. Okay, oldies but goodies pa rin tayo. Okay, still performing and still effective at kailangan sa organisasyon. Okay? Ako po, on behalf of all the millennials, nagpapasalamat ako sa mga naunang generation. Ano po, kung wala sa kanila, wala sila, wala tayong natatamasang katulad nito ngayon. Tama po ba? So bakit ba nagkaroon ng SCM? By the late 1990s, SCM was starting to show up in the titles of operational managers. Ibig sabihin, kung 1990s lang siya, medyo new ang concept na ito. Okay, the definition of supply chain management, parang tayo new. The definition of supply chain management expanded to include management of upstreams and downstreams. Okay, sabi natin upstreams is management of your suppliers, downstream is the management of your distribution. Downstream value-added flows of materials, final goods, and related information among everyone from suppliers to the final customers. No, kailangan nyo pong i-take note ito pong tinatawag na value added. No po? Kasama po kasi sa management ng supply chain ay hindi lang mag-solve ng problems or mag-strategize. No, kasama po sa pag-manage ng supply chain is that you continually improve it. No po, you make creative choices and innovative decisions to improve your supply chain, and that involves really looking at the value adding activities, no po. So kung hindi pa po kayo familiar with the concept of value value engineering, value analysis, value adding activities, non-value adding activities. No? You might want to try to learn about it using literature about lean manufacturing, lean management, or lean manufacturing principles. No po, basta lean. Okay? Kasi lean, ibig sabihin nun ay nagfo-focus tayo sa may value, may kwenta, may halaga. Okay, so yung SCM or supply chain management is one of the tools also to implement lean manufacturing practices or principles in our organization. Okay? Ayan. So, what are the advantages? Ano bang mahihita natin dito when we implement supply chain management? It keeps our businesses competitive. Okay, yun yung kailangan natin eh. It sets us apart from our competitors, no? Markets change, and as the marketplace becomes increasingly global, the need for better efficiency is crucial. Oo, ang labanan ngayon, who can deliver it first? Who can deliver the things that I want first, no? Minsan kasi yung customer natin, hindi lang need dapat niya yung hindi lang tayo nakikinig sa need niya. Of course, dapat kasama yung want. Okay? At kung minamanage natin yung supply chain natin, sabi nga natin, ang supply chain is simple. Manage the supply, manage the demand. Okay, sa demand management, naandyan lagi yung listening to the voice of your customers. Again, babalik tayo sa una nating discussion. Customer is God, the author and finisher of our businesses. For without them, we are nothing. Tama po ba? So, kapag minamanage natin yung demand, we are able to react faster than others, than our competitors. Therefore, magiging product of choice tayo if we can deliver the goods that they want, cheap, high quality, and fast. Tama po ba? So that will become our competitive advantage. Another advantage of supply chain is it paces with technology. Okay, so makikita nyo po mamaya we will have a discussion kung paano nag-improve ang supply chain management over time. Kasabay ng pag-improve sa industriya. Okay, may tinatawag tayong industrial revolution. 1, 2, 3. Ngayon nasa 4th industrial revolution na po tayo. Tama po. Ayan. So, this has created a need for a more collaborative network. Now, sa supply chain, from the word chain, ibig sabihin interconnection, no, binibuild mo yung network mo. Okay? Sabi nga nila, it doesn't matter how much you know. Diba? What matters is who you know. Therefore, sa business natin, kahit saan ka magpuntang business, industrial organization, dapat talaga you are surrounded with the right people and you are connected with them. No? Sabi nga dito, this has created a need for a more collaborative network so different enterprises can work harmoniously together. Imagine that, kahit mga private company ka, hindi ka parte ng isang kumpanya, pero you are working closely with that organization. Therefore, may maganda kayong communication, may maganda kayong relationship. Pag may magandang communication, may magandang relationship, information will flow smoothly. No po, processes will be more efficient. Pag processes ay more efficient, processes will be less costly. Nakatipid ka na, napabilis ka pa, nagkaroon ka pa ng higher sales. Tama po. Or higher revenue, hindi pala sales. Higher revenue. Okay? Alright. So, another advantage is it creates productive environments. No? Sabi dito, multinational companies, joint ventures, strategic alliances. Okay, I want you to highlight joint ventures. Okay, talagang the future is all about collaboration. No, if you will not collaborate, you will die. And one way to collaborate with your suppliers or to collaborate with your customers is through supply chain management. No, strategic alliances and other partnerships. Ayan. As well as technological advancements have contributed to more cooperation among those in the supply chain network. As supply chains become more holistic and cooperative, companies must adapt. Okay, so nagkakaroon ng tulungan. Okay, so nagkakaroon ng value co-creation. Ayan. Ano ibig sabihin ng value co-creation? Nagkakaroon ng faster generation of information and faster sharing of information. Dahil doon, nai-increase yung visibility. No? Hindi from organization na nag-reactive, nagiging proactive tayo. No? We don't do things after the facts. Okay? We do things before things happen. Okay, nagiging ganun tayo. Tama po ba? Yun ang maganda sa supply chain management. Okay, to be able to make right decisions at the right time. Okay, ayan, at nagiging proactive tayo. Okay. Fifth advantage is it satisfies your customers. Wala nang iba. Okay? Kasi nga yung efficiencies natin. No po? At saka yung talagang kapag minamanage mo kasi yung demand and you are actively listening to the voice of your customers, you will be able to deliver what they need and want with greatest accuracy and precision. Tama po ba? So dahil doon, masasatisfy natin si customer. Okay? 6, it also reduces operating costs. Okay. Alam natin yan kapag kapag naging efficient tayo, alam natin na ang kasunod nun ay reduced operating. So here, so ito yung 6 na to, itong 6 na to ang ilan sa mga major na advantages of supply chain management. Sino ba yung ayaw nun? Optimize our operation, operate at the lowest cost, maximize our profits. Tama po ba? And maximize the use of our resources. It's possible through supply chain management. Now, you might wonder, ano ba yung bang supply chain yung ginagawa na doon sa isang organization na alam ko that they are managing their logistics. Now, let us take a look at their difference. Ano nga bang difference ng supply? Pagsusupply, di ba? Ano ang difference ng supply chain sa logistics? Di ba parang pareho lang yun ng logistics? Nagsusupply, nagde-deliver. Yun ba yun? So now let us see. Now, supply chain is concerned with transforming, katulad ng discussion natin kanina, transforming raw materials into products and getting it into customers. Okay? Logistics naman is about movement. Okay? Kung ang supply chain is about transformation, logistics is about transportation. Okay? Supply chain is a way to linking, chain, major business processes within and across companies. Okay? Into a high-performance business model that drives competitive advantage. Nililink si R&D kay customer, nililink si R&D kay supplier, nililink si production kay R&D, si production nililink kay supplier. Okay? Ganun sa supply chain. Sa logistics naman, it refers again to the movement, storage, and flow of goods, services, and information inside and outside the organization. Okay? The main focus daw po of supply chain is a competitive advantage, while the main focus of logistics is meeting customer requirements, which are both na tama naman po. Ano po? And supply chain management daw is a relatively new term. Of course, sumikat siya noong 90s. Okay? And logistics is a term that has been around for a long time, emerging from its military roots. And logistics is just part of supply chain that you should also manage. Again, logistics ay nagsisimula siya from yung finished goods mo, niload mo na, niload mo na doon sa isi-ship mo na siya kung saan man siya pupunta, or inilalagay mo na siya, isi-ship mo na siya or ita-transfer mo na siya into another location. Okay, doon nagsisimula ang logistics. But still, that is the downstream lamang ng supply chain management. Okay, so that wraps up our section number 2. If you have questions, you may type them down in our chat box so that sa ating question and answer portion, we will get back to them and answer them. Okay po, I think we're now ready to our section number 3. Ayan, ating supply chain management framework. Ayan, meron pong question yata. Ayan. Sabi ni Ma'am Lizelle. Hi, Ma'am Lizelle of Franklin Baker. What is the effect of pandemic in global supply chain? Ayan, ako napakalaki po ng epekto ng pandemya sa global supply chain. Number 1, nagkaroon tayo ng mga local changes. Tawag dito, since, di ba, yung mga ports natin nasarahan, may mga lockdown tayo, tama po. So, ngayon, mas nape-patronize natin yung mga local. Pasensya na tayo mga Pilipino, meron po tayong may tinatawag tayong colonial mentality, may mga mas pinipatronize natin yung mga global brands, multinational brands, international brands. Nung nagkaroon po ng pandemya, nag-shift po tayo sa mga local supplies. Okay, local brands, locally produced. Yan. So, yun yung isa sa mga epekto ng pandemya. Another effects ng pandemic ay yung meron tayong pent-up demand. No po? Pag sinabi namang pent-up demand, yung halimbawa, for so long a time kasi na-lockdown tayo, so nagkaroon tayo ng cravings for certain food, cravings for certain services, ayan. So ngayon, nung pag ready na, no po, pag pwede na kumain, pag ready na mag-order, nung naging ready na, no po, nag-increase naman agad yung demand for those kind of services. No po. Tapos, another shift or effect ng pandemic sa global supply chain, syempre, nakita natin yung difference between essential sa non-essential products and services. Tama po. So, nakita natin kung ano yung pinaka-importanting service at yung mga hindi masyadong importanteng services and products. Okay? Medical services. No po, importante pala yan. Alcohol, face mask, medicine, importante pala yan. Okay? Logistics, delivery, services, importante pala yon. Tama po ba? Yung mga non-essential like training, hindi pala kami masyado importante. Okay, non-essential. Ayan, sana po ay nasagot ko ng bahagya, but definitely nagkaroon ng malaking effect sa global supply chain. Okay, madaming affected, madaming hindi prepared para dito at marami ang inaaral ngayon. Naging interested ang maraming tao sa supply chain management. Kasi hindi naman talaga natin maiiwasan ang pandemya or mga events na tulad nito, no po. But we can always be prepared. Okay? Next, sabi ni Sir Arvel Malasunga, shortage on supply and increase in demand. Ayun, din daw ang mga effect ng pandemic. Especially sa mga essential products and services. Tama po ba, Sir Arvel? Yan. Thank you, Sir Arvel. Alright. Ayun. Thank you, Ma'am Lizelle. Alright. Thank you po. Alright. Section 3. Okay. Pag may question po write nyo lang po sa ating chat box. No? Tsaka yung isang talaga, yung events. Events, tama po. Tourism, ayan. Okay? Siyempre, sa tourism naman, hindi lang tao yung tinatransport mo, di ba? May mga materials din naman tayong kailangan i-transport to. May mga needs din naman ng mga resorts, tsaka mga tourist spots natin, no, na kailangang i-transport. Yun din, sobrang affected talaga yun. Actually, yung transportation part, distribution, pati pala supply part and distribution na parte ng supply chain talaga yung na-affect. Okay? Next. Okay. Supply chain management refers to the design and management of processes across organizational boundaries with the goal of matching supply and demand in the most cost-effective way. Yan. So, yun talaga ang tanong at yun ang concern na laging gustong i-answer ng mga people who are working in managing their supply chain. Now, I would like to ask po doon sa mga organization, sa mga participants po natin, sino po dito yung meron po kayong established na supply chain manager? As in, meron siyang position, meron siyang title. Meron po ba sa inyo? Meron po ba? Okay. Baka kayo po. Or may special department. I hope it's a department. Po. Because if the responsibility rests on just one person who decides, one person who plans, one person who strategizes, medyo malaki po yung scope ng responsibility sa supply chain management. It is my encouragement sa ating mga organization to really put up a team with different background and expertise na po to really manage our supply chain. Okay? Especially those with uh, knowledge in industrial engineering, knowledge in production, knowledge in customer relations, and knowledge with information technology. Okay? Kasi kailangan yung mga expertise sa mga fields na yon incorporate natin in managing our supply chain. Okay? Kasi nga, we want to make the most out of our resources so that we will be able to supply the demand of our customers at the cost-effective way. Alright? Ayan. Okay? So, to make it simpler, supply chain management is a system by which organization source, upstream, make, yan yung manufacturing natin, production, move, downstream, ano po, products or services according to market demand. Okay, so ito yung supply chain. Ito yung na-discuss na natin na diagram kanina. Ano po? Okay. Yay! Si Sir Arvel ay pala. Hi, Sir Arvel! Ayan, IE siya. At semicon. Oo nga. O, di ang ganda, sir. IE ka na. Tapos may knowledge ka pa sa IT, pero semicon. Ano, baka hindi natin alam kung saan, production or something. But, good. Baka SCMC, supply chain manager po ba si Sir Arvel? Ayan. Naku, baka may share po kayo mamaya sa ating question and answer. Don't forget also ano po that if you have some tawag dito, inputs that you want to share with the group. Okay, yung chat box natin ay always lagi po kayong welcome to air out something that you want to share sa grupo na ito. Okay po? Next po. Ayan. So this is the scope of supply chain tulad ng discussion po natin kanina sa diagram na ipinakita. Material flow, information flow, and financial flow. Sabi nga natin, the material flow would come from upstream to downstream. Information flow, kailangan may feedback, no po? So yung arrow goes both ways, no po? Kasi dapat ganun na exchange of information, communication has feedback. And then 3, yung financial flow, alam natin from downstream to upstream naman yung financial flow, no po? Okay, these are the elements of supply chain management. Processes, structure, technology. Now, with your processes, alam natin, it should be continually improving. Okay? Yung structure natin, dapat in place po ito, tested, simulated. And technology, ayan, yung pag-uusapan natin. Ano ba, mamaya po, ano po, sa ending ng section 4, ano ba yung mga current technologies available in the market, in the industry, ano po, that is being utilized by large organization to manage their supply chain. Okay? At wag niyo pong kalilimutan na sa supply chain management, laging incorporated dito ang technology. Okay? At nakalulungkot man pong sabihin, tayong mga Filipino, medyo low-tech pa tayo. Opo. In comparison po alam ko madami ng mga advancements na in place sa mga kumpanya dito sa Philippines. But in comparison to other countries, medyo delayed tayo ng konti. Ano po? Okay, so medyo low-tech strategies, low-tech solutions pa rin yung mga ini-implement natin mga Pilipino. So tingnan natin ano ba yung mga high-tech solutions na ginagawa sa ibang bansa. Mamaya titingnan po natin yan. So this is the supply chain structure. Okay, again, kikita natin from supplier down to the end customer, and the customer will transfer information needed by the organization, the processing plant, or the manufacturing plant. Okay? So, let us discuss the 5 stages of supply chain management. Okay, first, lagi natin sinasabi, ano po, we will have, ano po ha, detailed discussion ng stages na to sa ating premium webinar on March 17 and 18. Ano po? But right now, pahapyawan po natin ng konti. First is we have to plan. Ano po? Using supply chain analytics and materials management features in ERP systems, Oracle, SAP, organizations create strategic plans to meet customer demand for product and avoid a bullwhip effect. So a bullwhip effect is the pent-up inefficiencies, ano po, sa supply chain, no? Pag hindi tama kasi, nagsisimula yan sa hindi tamang forecasting eh. Okay? Bakit hindi nagiging tama yung forecasting natin? At alam niyo po ba, we found out sa aming mga training, sa ating mga webinar, no, a majority of our clients, of our participants or industries here in the Philippines, na sa Salesforce sila kumukuha ng information of how much to produce. Okay. Not really from the customers. No? And there are many sources and there are many approaches or ways to forecast demand. No po? At nakita natin na majority sa Salesforce, which is just one of the approaches. Hindi ko sinasabing mali yun. Okay? That is just one of the approaches to know how much to produce. No po? Pero, mag-join po kayo ng PPC. Ay, meron po tayo doong i-discuss na different approaches how to forecast demand. Okay, para mawala yung bullwhip effect. Okay, yung mga naipong inefficiencies doon sa supply chain. No po, naipong mga maling forecast. Halimbawa, mali yung forecast sa isang supplier. Si supplier 2, mamamali na rin yung mapoproduce niya. Si supplier 3, mamamali na rin yung mapoproduce niya, di ba? Pati si supplier 4. Pwedeng overproduce or underproduce sila. Basta merong inefficiency sa first line ng supplier natin, ng suppliers natin. Okay, yun yung tinatawag na bullwhip effect. Okay, that is why napakalaga sa supply chain management, may maganda tayong planning. Part ng planning ay yung demand forecasting. Okay, and knowing the real voice of your customer. Second is sourcing out, no, source. Organizations identify and select vendors, okay, that can supply materials in a streamlined and efficient way according to agreements. Okay, supply chain collaboration starts at this stage and is important throughout the supply chain management process. Ayan. So, ibig sabihin nun, napakahalaga talaga that you have a good supplier relationship. Okay, party po yan ng supply chain management because you'll be the next stage into supply chain management is yung sourcing out materials, hindi lang materials, no? Sourcing out ng people natin. Okay? Yung mga gagawa, mga laborers natin. Okay? Third stage is make. Okay, plan, source, make. Okay, this includes scheduling the production, testing, ensuring compliance requirements, packing, storage, and release. Okay, multiple machines are likely to be involved, especially for larger companies, and this increasingly use technologies such as IoT. Mamaya, we will have a discussion. Ano ba yung IoT na yan or Internet of Things? And AI. Ano ba yung AI? Artificial Intelligence to work more efficiently. Again, sa supply chain management, ang gusto natin ay ma-reduce yung mga inefficiencies natin, magkaroon tayo ng lower costs in production, and ma-improve ang ating flexibility. Okay? Fourth is to deliver. Ayan, downstream na tayo. The delivery stage pertains to logistics and focuses on getting finished goods to consumers. Sabi nga dito, no, as the Amazon effect has grown, especially as a result of COVID-19, as more focus is on doorstep delivery. So yun yung naging change na, yun yung isa sa mga naging change ano po ng pandemya. Talagang dumami yung channels of distribution. no po, nagkaroon ng mga maliliit na delivery men, no po, doon sa ating downstream. At kasama yun sa minamanage natin when it comes to supply chain management. Okay, kung kayo po ay nasa ganong kind ng business. Ano po? Greater emphasis is now also on supply chain leaders working more closely with customer service. Correct. Inventory management and warehouse management systems are especially crucial at this stage. At napakaganda din po nung yung feature sa Lazada that you can review your products so that other customers may also see how your review of the product, and it helps them purchase or not purchase the product. Tama po. Okay, so itong mga new technologies na to, kasama din siya sa minamanage natin sa supply chain. Okay, when it comes sa pagmamanage naman ng downstream or delivery. Okay, and the fifth is the return. Okay, wag niyo po kalilimutan, ano po, kasama sa minamanage natin yung mga return, ganyan, recalls, ganyan. The return stage includes all product returns, including defective products, products that will no longer be supported. This stage also includes elements from other stages, including inventory and transportation management. So hanggang sa return, dapat active pa rin tayo. No po, sabi nga natin, ano, one of our discussions sa SWIM or Strategic Warehousing and Inventory Management. Hanggat hindi nakakarating kay end customer ang iyong product, okay, cargo de konsensya mo pa rin siya. Okay, minamanage mo pa rin siya. Okay? At kapag ito i-return ni customer, no, parte pa rin siya ng iyong supply chain na minamanage. Okay po? So, yon. 5 stages of supply chain management: plan, source, make, deliver, return. Okay? So, sa supply chain management premium webinar po natin, magkakaroon tayo ng mas detailed discussion po yan. Okay? And now, we are down to the last section. Paano ba tayo magkakaroon ng effective implementation of supply chain management? Okay? Sabi nga natin, you should start with plan. So, define the scope of your supply chain. Now, baka may magtatanong po sa inyo, paano kami magsisimula? How are we going to define the scope? You need to understand that as you progress with the implementation of your SCM over time, pa-increase na ng pa-increase yung scope mo. Okay? Pwede po ba kami mag-start doon lang sa manufacturing? Pwede naman po. Pwede po bang isama na namin si supplier? Pwede naman po. Okay? Hanggang sa palaki na siya ng palaki. Okay? So, syempre, wag mong kalilimutan, isama sa scoping mo yung demand side. Okay? Ano-anong part yon? Order taking, delivery, and shipment. Okay? Kung may third-party logistics, kasama sila. Okay? Managing ng third-party logistics natin, no po? Kasama din yon sa pwedeng scope ng yung supply chain. Okay? So, again, hindi po kailangan na malaki agad yung scope. No po? Okay? As you progress with the implementation of your SCM, doon mo siya, at nagagamay mo na, ibig sabihin, gumagaling ka na sa pag-manage ng mga few areas, few processes na kasama sa SCM mo. So, pwede ka nang magpalaki ng scope. Okay? Kasama din dapat yung supply side, may demand forecasting, material planning and ordering, operations planning, and goods inventory. Okay? And then after that, so ito po hindi limitado sa mga processes na to ang pwede nyo isama sa supply chain nyo po. Basta you have a process in your organization related to management of demand and management of supply, pwede nyo po yang isama sa inyong supply chain management. Okay? So, mali po ba? Baka may magtatanong po sa inyo, mali po ba yung current practice namin sa aming organization? Pag sinabi namin supply chain management, nagpo-focus lang kami sa logistics? Okay? Hindi siya mali kasi ang logistics ay part ng SCM. Pero dapat ang supply chain ay kasama yung demand side. No po? Which is, inaaral talaga natin yung voice ng customer natin. Alright? Number 2, after defining the scope, ready na tayo sa number 2, establish the SCM organigram. It's a fancy way of saying organizational chart based on defined SCM scope. Ayan. So, kung na-define na natin SCM scope, ito na, ready na tayo mag-appoint ng mga tao. Again, babalik po tayo sa discussion natin kanina. Sabi natin, kung meron po kayong naitatag na position na may title na supply chain manager, it's okay, pero dapat hindi lahat ng responsibilities ay nakaatang sa kanya. Maaring siya yung overseer, director, main approving officer, no po, well-informed of all the things that is happening in the supply chain, pero dapat siya ay may mga kasamang magagaling sa mga fields nila. Sabi nga natin, dapat mayroong knowledge sa industrial engineering, production, information technology, customers relations, suppliers relations. Tama po, kasi kailangan natin yung expertise nilang lahat to effectively manage our supply chain. Next is we have to craft SCM strategies. No, mag-i-strategize na tayo. Next is, after that, develop relevant SCM processes in the organization. Now, in developing SCM processes, huwag niyo pong kalilimutan yung mga naging mali, yung mga examples natin, mga case in point natin kanina. Ano po? Walang proper scheduling, walang proper planning, walang proper documentation, walang proper testing, okay? Lagi niyo po yung isa sa isip prior implementation ng mga SCM processes natin. Okay po ba yun? So, you might be wondering, ano naman po yung mga SCM strategies na yan or supply chain management strategies? So, here are some examples. So, there are some 3 famous strategies, no? But we are not limited to these strategies. You can even combine all these strategies all at once, no? So may tinatawag tayong low cost strategy, always choose yung mura. Response strategy, always choose yung strategy mabilis. Pag sinabing response, no? Mabilis, efficiency issues yan, okay? Differentiation strategy naman, ito yung strategy that would define your competitive advantage, being different, being unique, being kakaiba. Okay, minsan ang tao kasi may sakit tayong mabilis tayong tawag din magsawa, so we are always looking for something that is new. Okay, so differentiation strategy. Okay, now let us look at the supplier's goal, no? Sa aspeto ng supplier natin, no? Kung ipapatupad natin ay low-cost strategy, of course, supply demand at lowest possible cost, no? Pinakamadali. Example, yung sa Emerson Electric and Taco Bell. Okay? Pwede rin naman response strategy. Respond quickly to changing requirements and demand to minimize stockouts. Okay? Pwede rin naman ganon. Bilisan natin yung pag-response. Okay? Differentiation strategy naman ay mag-share tayo ng market research and jointly develop products and options. Okay? Yung tinatawag natin, makipag-collaborate tayo. Okay? Different industry or different product. Ganyan. Okay? Pwede yun. Or makipag-tie up with your supplier. Ayan. Sa aspeto naman ng primary selection, again, ito sa lahat ng mga goals natin sa ating upstream. Ano po? Sa pag-manage ng ating upstream. Okay. Again, supplier yon po. Primary supplier selection criteria. Pwede tayong mag-use ng low-cost strategy. Select supplier with the least cost. Okay. Or sa response strategy naman, select primarily for capacity, speed, and flexibility of your supplier. For differentiation strategy naman ay pwede mong iselect ang supplier na mayroong product development skills. Okay? Ayan. So, sa aspeto naman na ito, sa production, ito naman ay sa downstream or distribution. No po? Para sa process characteristics, if we want to use a low-cost strategy, we have to maintain high average utilization. Okay? Now, if we want to use response strategy naman, invest in excess capacity and flexible processes. Ayan. For differentiation strategy, modular processes that lend themselves to mass customization. Okay, so here is a list of a lot of strategies that you can use. Okay, basta ang makikita nyo po, sa lahat ng parts ng supply chain, supplier man yan, upstream man yan, production man yan, or downstream man yan, meron tayong mga strategy. At makaklasify natin sila sa low cost, ibig sabihin mura, response strategy, meaning pinakamabilis, differentiation strategy, yung kakaiba. Okay? So again, sa ating pong premium webinar, meron tayong detailed discussion about all these strategies. Okay? Kung meron na po kayong foreknowledge or background knowledge about value engineering, innovative way of problem solving or TRIS, kung may background na po kayo sa lean manufacturing, Six Sigma, mas madali nyo po maiintindihan kung paano nyo po magagamit yung mga concepts na yon, mga principles na yon sa inyo pong supply chain management. Okay po. So, ayan. Ito yung mga SCM processes. Kung kanina, pinag-usapan natin yung mga strategies. Now, ano naman yung mga processes, which is the fourth part po ng ating effective SCM implementation. Okay? So, sa upstream, dapat meron tayong customer relations management. No? Kung makikita nyo po, talaga may emphasis tayo sa relations management. Kasi ang relasyon parang kape yan. Pag pinabayaan, nanlalamig. Ayan. Kumusta po yung kape nyo? Sana umiinom pa kayo. Ayan. Dahil malapit na po tayo magtapos. Last na po ito. Ano po? Customer relations management. Strategy for interaction with current and potential customers. Again, i-highlight ko po, pag may maganda tayong relationship with our customers, di ba mas madaling makipag-usap? Imagine that may kagalit ka, di ba ayaw mo siyang kausapin or hindi maganda yung relationship nyo, hindi kayo open, di ba, na makipag-usap sa isa't isa. That is the beauty about managing your customer relationship. No po, nagkakaroon ng open, interactive communication. Therefore, mas madali nating makukuha yung voice nila, mas madali nating maiintindihan yung needs and wants nila. Therefore, this information will be fed to our R&D, research and development, to our product and service design managers, no po, and they will be able to produce the actual product or service our customers want. Okay, number 2, customer service management. Napakaganda din po niyan. In place po ito sa mga processes ng ating SCM. No po, na pag may gusto silang kausapin, may gusto silang ireklamo, i-complain, we are always present. Okay, may presensya, nararamdaman. Ayan, gumagawa at nakikinig. Ayan. Another is demand management. No? Demand management wherein we use forecasting. Yan. So, ituturo natin yan sa PPC at SWIM. PPC or Production Planning and Control at saka SWIM, Strategic Warehousing Inventory Management. Ituturo po natin yung forecasting. 4, may order fulfillment. Okay, the process of responding to the orders of customers. Number 5 is manufacturing flow management. Okay, merong planning, scheduling, and supporting manufacturing processes. Okay? So, yung 1, 2, 3, 4, ito po mga processes na to involved sa managing our upstream. Now, let us look at managing our manufacturing. Number 5, may manufacturing flow management. Ibig sabihin nun, we continually improve our flow in production, no? Cost effective, efficient, and effective. Okay? At syempre, yung downstream naman, ima-manage din natin. Ano yung mga processes involved doon? Again, supplier relations management. Sinabi ko na sa inyo, yung mga relasyon nyo po, alagaan nyo nang hindi nalalamig eh. Pati sa supplier din po, no po. Strategic planning to reduce risk and add value to third-party relations. Kasama din yung product development and commercialization and yung returns management. So these are the processes of SCM but not limited to, ayan, meron pong nag-a-ask ng question. Hi, ma'am! Ay, sorry. Akala ko may nagtatanong. Alright, ayan po ang mga processes natin. So, if you want to know more about SCM, no po, we have premium webinar on March 17 and 18. Now, to wrap up our discussion before I open the floor for question and answer, now here are some of the lessons that we learned today. Okay, what should companies consider when evaluating a supplier? Okay, it all boils down to what you are trying to accomplish. Okay, may it be cost, quality, transportation, packaging, payment terms, no po, reliability, and value. Okay. So ngayon, yung usually no po na strategy ng mga Filipino companies when it comes to managing their suppliers, no po, ang ginagawa nila is they make their suppliers near sa kanila so that yung information and transportation, problem with information dissemination and transportation nami-minimize. No? Kung makikita nyo po sa ating mga export processing zones, yan, magkakatabi po yung mga nagsusupply sa isang large organization. Magkakatabi sila. Ganyan. Tama po ba? That is one strategy. Ayan. Ayan, choosing supplier. Reduced lead time. Ayan, correct. Nare-reduce yung lead time. Alright. One factor that's often overlooked then is the supplier's operational and financial health. So if you're gonna be choosing your supplier, you should also consider yung operational and financial health niya. Okay, tama po. Okay. Ayan. Another question, how can firms make sure their suppliers are complying with their standards? Okay. Ayan. Wow, grabe. So may addition po si Sir Arvel. Sabi, some of the factors that we should take into consideration when choosing supplier daw po ay price, quality, supplier's reputation, yan, past experience or experiences, and service after sale. Yan. Thank you, Sir Arvel. Tama po. Okay. So, another is if they are complying with their standards. No po, kung mapapansin nyo po, napapansin namin, kami ang nakapansin, sorry. Majority po ng clients namin na nagpapa-ISO certification, ang goal nila ay hindi para maging competitive, maging maayos, magkaroon ng status, ganyan, or ma-secure yung certification, ma-improve ang system nila. Hindi talaga yon. Bakit sila nagpapa-ISO certification? Kasi they are being demanded or forced by their customers. Okay? So, isa yun kasi sa mga gusto nating gawin sa mga suppliers natin na we are sure that they comply with their standards, and ISO is one way to be sure that our suppliers are complying with their standards. Ayan. Yes, correct. So, sabi ni Sir Arvel, eto nga po. Okay, highlight lang din natin. Tama siya. Conducting regular audits is another good way to make sure suppliers are complying with your standards. And that is also part of supply chain management. Okay? Supply chain management, ayan. Sorry. Yeah. Supply chain management basically merges the supply and demand management. So, sabi nga natin, no po, talagang pinagsasama niya yung managing the supply and the demand. It uses different strategies and approaches to view the entire chain and work efficiently at each and every step involved in the chain. It aims to help the companies to improve their long-term performance while also creating value for its stakeholders and customers. So yun talaga ang pinakagusto mo. Not only will you be able to manage your demand and supply by harnessing effects such as low cost production or operation, improved customer satisfaction and quality. Hindi lang talaga yon, but creating value for your stakeholders and customers. Ayan, napakaganda, napaka-noble. Ano po. Now, ano na po ba ang mga pagbabago nangyayari sa buong mundo when it comes to supply chain management? Alam niyo po dito sa Philippines, no, madaming pag-aaral. We tried to understand how Filipinos are coping up with SCM or supply chain management, or meron ba tayo niyan? Nagmamanage ba tayo talaga ng supply chain natin? Now, yes, there are, no? Kasi dito sa Philippines may mga large organizations naman talaga na multinational, very big, no po. But looking at the data provided by DTI, or the Department of Trade and Industries, 90% po ng industriya dito sa Philippines ay micro. 90%. 8% po ay tinatawag na small. Okay? A very minor percentage ay yung medium. Tapos wala pang 1% yung mga large organization. Okay? Sa ibang bansa na highly developed at saka mataas na yung application ng mga technology sa kanilang organization, talagang well-managed yung kanilang supply chain. Ano po? Dito sa Philippines, alam niyo naman po ang konsepto natin, the concept of sari-sari store. Okay? Yung mga Procter and Gamble nga po or yung mga sikat na mga shampoo brands, cosmetic brands, no po. Dito lang sila nagpo-produce ng mga nakasachet. Kasi tayo mga Pilipinos, we live for a day. Hindi isang kahig, isang tuka, yun yung kultura natin. We don't plan, and we don't think of the before, during, and after ng mga bagay-bagay. Kaya medyo tayo mga Pilipino, medyo naiiwan. Opo, sa supply chain management. Of course, meron din tayong mga problem with lack of knowledge and skills, no po, in doing so. May i-add din daw po si Sir Arvel, global supply chain, low labor cost, and low material cost like China and India. Okay. Low labor cost and low material cost and India. So, regarding sige, mamaya, i-question na lang natin si Sir. Okay. Ayan. Now, Sabi nila, tayo daw po ay nasa Fourth Industrial Revolution na. So, may tinatawag na Industry 4.0. Okay? Kasi yung Industry 1.0, ito daw yung time na from manual labor na imbento yung mechanization, no? Nagkaroon ng mga machines. Okay? Yung Industry 2.0, nagkaroon naman ng electricity. Okay? Nung nagkaroon ng electricity, naging powered by electricity yung mga machines. Nagkaroon din ng mass production. Okay? So, kung nung first industrial revolution, no po, naging bida ang mga mechanical engineers. Nung second industrial revolution naman, naging bida naman ang mga electrical engineers at saka mga industrial engineers. No po, kasi nagkaroon ng mass production. Nung third industrial revolution naman, nagkaroon ng computers. Therefore, nagkaroon ng mga automation, ganyan, robots doon sa production. At ito na, nandito na tayo sa Industry 4.0 or in the fourth generation industrial revolution. Na po kung saan gumagamit na tayo ng IoT kasi meron ng internet. Okay? Internet of Things. Okay? Ang Internet of Things is about using smart devices and appliances. When we say smart devices or appliances, they have sensors inside of them that can self-regulate, that can generate data, that can look after themselves and give you notification. Yan, they can communicate with us and they can communicate with other machines. Yan, ganun sila ka-smart, no? Meron silang kakayanang magdesisyon para sa sarili nila at kaya nilang bantayan yung mga sarili nila. Okay, so ang Industry 4.0 is the combination of IoT, artificial intelligence, robotics, big data analytics, at marami pa pong iba to manage supply chain. Ayan. So, yung na po, naandoon na po yung ibang parte ng mundo when it comes to supply chain. And therefore, no po, nagkaroon ng increased visibility. Imagine, no po, kung ikaw ay deeply connected, kasi yun yung yun po yung isa sa mga features ng Industry 4.0 or so kasama sa Industry 4.0 yung supply chain 4.0 or yung innovation sa supply chain, no? Kasama dyan yung Internet of Things, kasama nga po dyan yung data analytics, big data, and data analytics, artificial intelligence, robotics, automation, augmented reality, simulation yan, pinagsama-sama na po yan. At kasama doon syempre na ikaw ay connected to your suppliers, you are also connected to your customers. Imagine that when you are connected to a lot to your customers, deeply connected to your customers, no, nagkakaroon na ang increased visibility. Therefore, no, nagkakaroon din ng higher accuracy and precision ang iyong demand forecasting. Okay? It's not a perfect science, but nagkakaroon ka ng higher accuracy. Ayan, pag may connection ka. So, yun yung isa sa mga highlights ng Supply Chain 4.0, which is part of Industry 4.0 or the first generational industrial revolution. Okay? So, nagkakaroon din tayo ng formation ng madaming digital thread. No po, nagkakaroon tayo ng better communication. Tapos nagkakaroon din tayo ng value co-generation. Okay? At marami pang iba. Pero ang isa sa mga concern natin about the use of IoT, AI, robotics, no po, sa industriya natin to manage our supply chain, ay yung risk ng yung mga cyber risks. Tama po ba? Especially with private and very delicate transfer of information. No po, especially sa flow ng money, no po, yun din ang isa sa mga ikinatatakot natin kapag full-blown implementation itong Industry 4.0. Okay, but siyempre kung ang mga ibang bansa ay nakikita na ito ay risk, ibig sabihin they are preparing for it right now. Okay? For us to be able to understand more about yung digital supply chain or supply chain 4.0, I'll be showing you a clip, okay, a video clip from Hans Thalbauer. He is a senior VP ng SAP, no po, for digital supply chain and IoT. So let us see this video and learn more about supply chain 4.0.
Let's first discuss when we use the term digital supply chain, how do we define that at SAP, right? We include all the business processes from design to operate, which includes the supply chain planning topic, includes the logistics area, the warehouse management, transportation management area, but also the product innovation, manufacturing and asset management. So if you will, from a business process perspective, we talk about design, the manufacturing topic, delivery, and then the operational topic. And in the center, we have planning. Why is planning in the center? Because it's a step which is not just one step, planning occurs all the time. The volatility topic really means a chief operating officer needs to focus on efficiency. It's all about how can I be as efficient as possible and really focusing on the cost element. On the other hand, second part of the brain needs to work on innovation and changing the business models. Running business is completely different. And in many industries and in all the regions around the world, this is a key topic for a chief operating officer to really transform or help to transform the company, right? By introducing new supply chain processes, new manufacturing processes. How does this drive revenue, right? Just think about the opportunities and possibilities. If I know what my customer wants, right? And if I have the information from the customer about how satisfied they are, really thinking about the experience from the customer on the manufacturing side, on the delivery side, and also on the services side. This really drives innovation, right? If I know, for example, from a product innovation perspective, the customer doesn't like the design or also has some comments about some changes on the product itself or doesn't like the quality, the earlier I know that, the faster I can feed that back to the engineering department, the faster I can feed that back to the manufacturing department to really work on improving the processes. And with that, I really not only focus on the efficiency, but really drive the growth of the company. The digital supply chain needs to be a connected supply chain. Connected means I need to connect to my business partners. It's really networks which we need to build here. And these business partners, it's not just the supplier, it's also the equipment manufacturer connected with the manufacturer. It's the logistics service providers, the carriers, the freight forwarders which need to be connected. So you have many business partners which need to be connected digitally with the enterprise. This by itself creates visibility. And if you ask right now companies how many of these business partners are really digitally connected, it's probably 10%, right? So it's a lot of work still to do to really build these networks. On the other hand, connectivity means we need to leverage the things, the assets, the machines, the trucks, everything which can talk in order to build the digital twin of the supply chain. Not just of the product, but really of the supply chain. So if I have this real-time picture from the real world about the supply chain, if I have the information from my business network, now I really have the possibility to see what's going on and have total visibility. So now the next step is, this enables me to change the supply chain from an alert-driven reactive supply chain to a predictive supply chain. So we need to use machine learning, artificial intelligence in order to really enable that. And there are already examples like predictive maintenance. There's, of course, the predictive transportation where you determine the ETA. There's the predictive quality management topic, and. So it's really going again across the design to operate area. And then the next step is I automate the processes as much as possible. So here we really use technology again in order to automate.
Ayan. Okay. So, no po. So, that is Hans Thalbauer, who is the Senior Vice President ng SAP, discussing yung digital supply chain or yung supply chain 4.0 na po, kung saan gagamit tayo ng Internet of Things, no, the use of smart equipment, smart appliances that can communicate with each other and communicate with you. They can regulate and they can predict, 'di ba? They can predict what might happen. So i-alert ka nila, ino-notify ka nila so that yung halimbawa, pwede siyang mag-alert sa na I'm gonna be breaking down in 2 days. So para hindi siya mag-breakdown, I'm gonna do necessary steps right now. So sabi pa nga niya, no, na you are transforming, no po, your system from a reactive system to a predictive system. Why? Because there is much visibility. No po, you are not deciding after the facts. You are deciding based on the data that has been analyzed. Okay, so yun yung maganda sa supply chain 4.0, no, with big data analytics, no, mabibigyan ka ng mga right choices to make in the future so that risks might be mitigated and mai-increase natin yung ating resiliency, which is very important sa ating pinagdaraanan ngayon sa pandemya na ito. Tama po ba? During this pandemic, natutunan natin yung importance na ang risk mitigation and resiliency, increasing resiliency. Tama po ba? And these two factors, no po, na important sa ating organization para, number one, mag-continue tayo na makapag-operate. Okay? At number two, para hindi tayo mag-incur ng a lot of losses, ay talagang parte pala talaga siya ng supply chain management. Ayan. So, if you are interested for more supply chain management tools, techniques, no po, ay i-offer po natin yan this March, starting with supply chain management sa March 17 and 18, production planning and control 24 and 25, 22 and 23, sorry. And strategic warehousing and inventory management sa 25 and 26 sa March. Okay, so may mga questions po ba? The floor is now open for your questions. Okay. Thank you nga po pala sa mga nag-chat at nag-share ng kanilang mga insights and learnings. Thank you po. Okay, meron pa po ba? Ayan. I hope that you enjoyed our discussion today. No po, kung nahiya lang po kayo na mag-ask ng question, you can always write down your question sa ating online community. Opo, just join our online community. It's an exclusive. Ayun, on March, may nagtanong po, si Sir Spencer. Hi, Sir Spencer from Philtap. On March 17 to 18, what is the time? Sa 17 po ay yung first, no po, module, which is all about discussion. So, discussion about supply chain management. That will be 9 a.m. to, tama ba? Am I correct, Abby? Is it 9 or 10? 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Okay, 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Tapos po, sa March 18 naman, yung module number 2 will be 9 a.m. to 12 noon. And then yung module 3 will be on the same day, March 18, 1:30 to 4:30. Yun po. Okay po. May nagtatanong po ulit si Ma'am Roveline. Hello po, can we have soft copy of the presentation? Ay ma'am, I'm sorry to inform you po, we do not distribute soft copy of presentation presented during free webinars. But hear this, you can always catch the replay of this on our YouTube channel. The link will be sent in our chat box po ng ating YouTube channel. And you will be notified once kayo po ay member na ng ating exclusive community. Lagi po kayo manonotify once na new videos are uploaded. At makakakita pa po kayo ng madami pang resources regarding mga other other topics. Okay, especially nung mga nagdaan like business continuity planning, risk management, ganyan po. Ayan, leadership, ayan, resiliency, about those things. Okay po. Ayan, thank you din Ma'am Roveline. Okay. Again po ha, if you have other questions, you can always type down those questions, i-private message nyo po kami doon po sa aming exclusive online community. Okay po, and then we will promptly answer your questions. Okay, so the link to our YouTube channel is also shown dito sa ating chat. Ayan, chat box natin. For our premium webinars po, ayan, this is the link, supply chain management. Ayan, will be March 12, March 17 to 18. Ayan, so sa March 17 po, 9 to 12, March 18, Module 2 ay 9 to 12, at Module 3 ay 1:30 to 4:30. Okay. I had it all mixed up. Ano po? Ang strategic warehousing and inventory management naman po pala ay March 22 and 23. Production planning and control naman po ay March 25 and March 26. Ayan. So I hope you have all your calendars marked. And if you want to register, you can always click the link na isinend ko namin sa inyong chat box. Okay, ayan. So, I hope everyone is ready for our picture taking. Now, kung hindi man po kalabisan, ay mag-a-ask po kami na i-open niyo po ang inyong mga camera for our picture taking. Okay po ba? Please open your cameras po. While Abby is readying our say cheese. Yay! It's done. Thank you very much, guys. Please do not forget to answer our evaluation, our survey form. Of course, we want to improve on how we do our training, and we also want to hear from you. Yeah. Demand management. We want to offer the best and the most relevant trainings for you guys. So, okay, answered our feedback form. And see you sa ating mga susunod na mga free webinars. At see you din po sa ating mga susunod na mga premium webinars. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Maraming salamat po sa pagtutok, pakikinig sa 2 oras nating talakayan about Introduction to Supply Chain Management. I hope everyone learned about something. And please do not forget that sa supply chain po, ayan. Supply chain management, 17-18. Swim is 22-23, and PPC is 25-26. Please enjoy your lunch. Bye. God bless po. Thank you very much.